Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you are all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex and welcome back to some more GTA 5, where today we are actually in a right-hand drive car, and it's not a real car remake. This is actually a law-friendly vehicle inside of GTA 5 that is right-hand drive. In fact, this is a car that does already exist inside of GTA 5, but it's been reimagined and revisited to make it a bit more like its real-life counterpart. It's this. This is the Savestra RE, and is the new type of Savestra that changes slightly from the original. It actually makes it a bit more civilian than the original one that you get inside of GTA 5, but also with the tuning parts makes it definitely not as civilian as the other Savestra that we have from GTA 5. So in this video we're going to be comparing this to the original Savestra and then tuning it and having a couple of builds. But before we do all of that, there's going to be some comments on the screen. These are comments featured from the previous video. If you would like your comments featured, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll pick some at random and feature them at the start of the next video. And don't forget, I also have Twitter, Instagram, and a new channel. I always say this in the video. Links to my Twitter, Instagram, and the new channel in the description below. The new channel is all about hobby stuff, you know, checking out like rebuilding a Game Boy or building a mechanical keyboard, or actually I do have plans for building like a Bluetooth speaker and all this sort of stuff. I'll be having that, or it's basically almost like a DIY channel, or more like a project channel. Either way, if that is of any interest to you, you can check the link in the description below. Videos should be coming soon, once I've figured out some issues I've been having with copyright music stuff. And then those videos should be coming very soon. So, let's just get into this thing. I don't know where I should park. Let's just go down here into the Clucking Bell factory. So we don't always go down into here. And let's just spawn in the original Savestra so we can compare the two. Okay, so here we are together with the two Savestras. On the right, we have the original from GTA 5, and then we have this one on the left, which is the new reimagined version. So, the main differences that I can see straight away are the fact that we don't have these giant arches with the bolts on them anymore. This does actually come as a little bit more of a standard version. I mean, it's still got giant tyres, giant chunky tyres that are actually protruding, with stretch tyres as well. So that's definitely not supposed to look entirely standard. Definitely that fitment on the back is very not what you'd get from the factory. But it does make it look a little bit tamer than it did before, especially when you compare the interiors on these things. Whilst the dashboard and everything does remain the same, apart from the fact that the new one is now right-hand drive, but the old one did have proper racing seats, whereas this new one now has something a little bit more civilian looking. Also, the other thing, apart from it being right-hand drive, is Michael sits really low down in this one. Is that more true to life? I don't know. I've seen some cars where people sit quite low down in them. I don't know. Michael does look a little bit lost in there, but it's not completely out of the realms of possibility. But obviously, because he is right-hand drive, the animations are made for left-hand drive. So sometimes he does stick out of the door, but there's nothing we can really do about that without changing all of the animations. As you can see, when I get back into this new one, he sits a lot higher in this one than he does in the new Savestra. So apart from the arches, the back seems to be pretty much the same. We've got the same sort of badging on both of them. We've got the same plates, lights, exhaust, bumpers, the lot. The wing mirrors seem to be the same as well. Nothing's really changed with those. But we do have a slight difference with the badging. This one had a very small... I never really liked the badge on this one. I don't really understand why it was there. It was very smooth, very modern looking, and very small and very flat. Whereas this new one actually adds a more old style thing, which I think really just ties back to the older Mazda badge, especially with like the shape of that badge reminds me of a rotary. So that's obviously going back to the original Mazda that it was based on. And speaking of rotaries, let me open the bonnet. So actually I'll check out the boots at the same time just to show you, but they are pretty much the same as they are. Both just have empty boots. But under the bonnet, things are a little bit different. Now, in the original one, it had the sort of standard tuner engine that Rockstar chucks in these things. Just a normal, like, twin cam engine. All the bells and whistles that you'd expect from their stereotypical tuner engines. It's not so much the Sultan RS engine, but still sort of there. Whereas this new one actually has a fully modelled rotary engine, which is something we don't have as a law-friendly vehicle. Normally, all the law-friendly vehicles, even the ones that are based... Why did I decide to park next to a train track? Yeah, normally even the cars that are based on rotaries, they still have these sort of engines. There isn't really a law-friendly rotary engine, like as in there was nothing that Rockstar made to put into the game that you could then steal the assets from. So this has actually all been made for this car, which is awesome. I mean, it's quite hard to see because we have to look at it backwards, but there you go. Full 3D rotary engine. So let's just close this up and get modifying so I can show you some of the parts, including something which I don't think I've ever seen in a mod before. We've got some nice customization going on with a very special plate that you can get for this. So let's just go to menus mod, go to menus customs. So we do actually have a couple of things in lowrider mods. We have vanity plate, which is actually to do with an oil cooler, and we have the liveries. In fact, I might as well just show the liveries first so we can get those over and done with. So we have some liveries that are actually the same as what we got on the original Savestra, but we do have a few extras. I can't tell you which are which because I genuinely don't remember. So we have the yellow stripe, the Savestra, the white stripe, the anise, the classic racing livery. These all seem to be very similar. I feel like I've seen these before. Then we have Spenders, we have the Olympian, we have Deludamol, all of these racing style liveries here. We have Spenders alternate version. We have the Estancia. I'm pretty sure all of these are in the original ones. These ones now with the numbers might be the ones that have been added extra. I'll tell you what, we'll check in a second. We'll go check the liveries of this one. So we have the Anis Rotary, number 24. I guess this must be based on the mod. Then we have Alien Styling. Pretty simple one. We have the Black RE-SP. Oh, that's cool. So it's actually like a stock that's very muscle car-esque. Mind you, I think this was based on a car from the 70s, so I think that's actually just quite a 70s look. Then we have the Ruthless Racing, number 13. We have the Anis Racing Black. Again, nice and simple. No, like, crazy colours on some of these. They're just black, so you can tie them with whatever colour. And we also have a white version as well, if you want that to match better with your colour. Then we have a black and white version. And then we have the white RESP finals. Now, definitely, I think up until the Estancia are all the ones that we did get inside of normal GTA. Let's just go and check that out. Yep, as I suspected, all of those were the original, all the way up to Estancia, then all the ones afterwards were what we got inside this mod. So that's pretty cool. So some new extra liveries, always good. Now, as for which livery I'm going to use, I don't know yet, because I don't know what style I'm going to go for, so I'm going to hide that for now. And also these oil coolers, so we actually have a center-mounted one, we have a left side one, and we have a right side one, and I don't know what the style is going to be, so we'll actually check these details out a little bit later. So let's start off with spoilers. Now you can see some interesting words in this one. We have the stock spoiler, we have the low ducktail, we have the high ducktail, which looks pretty sweet. High ducktail with end piece, which actually looks so awesome. I'm down for that. Then we have the bolt-on ducktail. We have the bolt-on spoiler. These are all very ducktail so far. Then we actually have an actual spoiler this time, a low-level spoiler. And then it just goes crazy. So we have a massive Shakatan style spoiler. These are like what you'd expect if you were to see some sort of Bosozoku themed style Mazda RX-3. Very massive. I don't know how the kits are going to compare or match up with this, but we'll see. And then we have that with the high ducktail with all the bits on the end, which is just absolutely wild. And then we have one with the smaller bolt-on ducktail. I mean, should we just go for this on the first build? I feel like we have to. I feel compelled to do that for the first build. So there we go. Shakatan wing with the high ducktail with end piece. This is going to be wild. On the front bumper, we have the options of the stock. We have the lightweight, which is actually just the color-coded one. Then we have a removed one. Then we have that with the caps on the little holes there. Just that's some very nice little detail. Then we have the capped indicators if you want to have that all smoothed off, but still not smoothed off, just capped. Then we have those in the secondary color. Our primary and secondary still the same at the moment. Then we have the primary color bumper, which seems to be very same to the lightweight. Oh, I think the lightweight's actually just a grey. I think it's just because we've got a very grey looking car. Yeah, as you can see, that's actually the primary paint colour. And then we have a bumperless look with a tow hook. Now again, I don't know where this is going to go because these aren't crazy bumpers, which makes me think we've got all the fenders and stuff. So I'm going to leave that stock for now. We'll come back to it. On the rear bumper, we have the lightweight bumper. We have the removed bumper. We have the removed capped bumper. We have the primary colour. We have the chrome, which also adds chrome on the lights as well, which looks pretty cool. Something that I don't think we had with the original one. And also we've got a touring bumper, which has got this big, massive bit down the bottom, which I think is going to suit this build. I'm just going to go for that, because I think that's going to suit it. Onto the skirts. These are actually going to be the mirrors. So we have the stock. We have chrome versions of them. We just have no mirrors if you want to go that way. Or we have them a bit further towards the driver, these little chrome classic ones, or we have these lightweight ones, which are basically just sort of like plasticky versions of the originals. So actually for this one, I'm going to go for the lightweight mirrors. I don't know why. There's something about it that I think if they were going Boss Suzuki style, they would have gone for the plastic mirrors. So yeah, I'll go for that. On the exhaust, we've got quite a few options here. I can see a Shakatan in that list. So we have the stock, we have the race exhaust, which is just marginally bigger than the one that you already have. Then we have the long race exhaust, that's pretty big. With the side exit, which is coming out this side. There we go. That's pretty intense. Then we have the big bore around the back. We have the Shakotan, of course, naturally, with the side exit Shakotan. Oh my Christ. Okay. Well, this is actually probably a first. I don't think we've had a law-friendly car that has had this level of crazy exhausts. Well, the next word has got me excited. It's the star version. Oh, look. Oh, look. We've got to go for that. I'll tell you what, can we actually change the colour of that? Because I want that in yellow. I'm not sure if we can. Anyway, we also have the dual exit exhaust. Something a bit more tied back, a bit more sporty. And then we have the dual tuner. Of course, I'm going to go for the Star Shakatan. I have to. It's just the law at this point. If you get something this ridiculous, you've got to go for it. Then on the chassis, oh Christ, we've actually got quite a lot of options. So we have the stock. Then we just have the roll cage. Then we have the luggage rack, so actually these are all tied to the same thing. Then we have the cage and rack. We have the lightweight louvers. These are going to be these in sort of a plasticky colour. Then we have the primary colour louvers. We have the race spec with louvers. This is going to be with all the caging and the louvers. Then we have that same one with the primary colour. Then we have that with the luggage rack. So we've basically got different combinations of all of these things, including just having all of them together. For this build, I want to go for the louvers. Just painted, I think. I might just go for painted ones. I'm not actually going to bother with a roll cage or anything like that. Then onto the grille. Woof! We've got a lot of options again, apparently. We have the stock. We have the chrome grille, which is actually basically just a chrome surround, which looks very nice. Then we have the vented grille. We have the chrome vented grille. I think some of these were in the original build, especially because these badges have reset to the original. Sadly, we can't get like a chrome border with that original badge. That's a shame. Moving on, so we have that one in full chrome. Then we have what looks like a Mark II Golf grille and light setup. Then we have this one, full chrome. Then we have this one with these intakes going in. Then we have full-on intakes, which just looks very weird. We have the blacked-out version with intakes. We have the lights and intakes. I tell you, it's a huge shame that we didn't have the continuation on with that badging on the front, because that badge does suck a lot. In fact, it's completely flat, as you can see. I tell you what, this camera thing does bug me sometimes. There we go. Flat as a pancake, not even touching the grille, that original one. Then we have the primary color grille, like the single lamp version. Then we have the grille that, I mean, that looks even more like a Mark II Golf. In fact, I even bought that sort of long eyelid thing for my one. I never fitted it naturally, but I did buy one at one point. Whoa! Okay, then we have the primary headlight cover. We have the secondary one. Again, the primary and the secondary are still the same color right now. Then we have the aero cover. Oof, that's weird. Almost looks like a Toyota Freelander in a way. Anyone else getting that vibe? Just me. Then we have the secondary color. Gonna look the same for now. And then we have the aero grille, which actually just sort of like, it seems to mold in towards the grille, these lights. That's very curious. And again, that would be in secondary color. I mean, for the Boss Suzuki style thing, I mean, normally, like, whenever I think of Boss Suzuki, I think of like the long nose, and I also think of like angled lights, which I don't think this is going to get. So, I'm going to go for the covers. I'm just going to go for these covers right there. I'll go for secondary color as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting. On the hood, we have the stock hood. We have the secondary color hood. Then we have the carbon hood, the vented hood, the side vented hood, the secondary color side vented hood, and one with giant exposed turbos, which I don't really fancy the look of, although this does actually add them to the engine. I want to see how this looks. Oh wow, okay, so it does actually have everything going in. That looks pretty intense. Although definitely not even attached to the engine. Yeah, because I don't think a turbo rotary would look like that. Anyway, so for this one, I'm just going to go for something like a vented hood, something like that. That's pretty crazy, pretty out there. Then onto the fenders, we have the options of the primary bolt-on. So these are going to be bringing it back to the original. As you can see right there, actually slightly different because this one has a flat bit where the bolt is and then it comes out, whereas this one just comes out straight from the bolt. So this is not actually the same type of fender. We have those in primary and secondary. Then we have these in black. Then we have these little lightweight fenders. Pretty nice, no bolts, looks very nice. Then we have those in plastic. Then we have a wide body kit all bolted on. That looks pretty sweet. That looks very nice. I like that. Then we have the secondary color. Then we have the wolf. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Primary rounded fenders, same as secondary. And then we have this with the long splitter down the bottom, or in secondary color. Or we have primary GT fenders, so you can actually make like a rally version, I think this might be. There we go, primary and secondary. Well, of course, naturally, I've got to go for this. Oh my god. In fact, I'm actually thinking of going for secondary color because I've got an idea in mind. We'll see how it turns out. But that is very Bosazoku right now. Then on the next fenders, oh, we've actually got an options of splitter. Okay, right, hang on. We're gonna have to get rid of this splitter just a second so we can see what's going on here. Right, so these extra splitters, if we weren't to go for that full splitter build, we could have the primary splitter, secondary color, black splitter. Then we have the primary racing splitter, that in secondary color. Or we have this weird dual splitter, which I think would actually go with the... Hang on, let's just go back to the other fenders. The GT fenders? Sort of. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Or we have that in secondary color. Or we have the tuner splitter right there. I'm going to go for stock because I want to go for this bad boy. In fact, I wonder if any of these splitters do combine. No, they don't. Okay. Although that one's not completely out there, this dual splitter one. Well, never mind, I was going to go for stock. Then we have, on the roof options, is actually going to be the rear license plate. Now, this is fully customizable. That's why that 8 there is actually based on the figure 8, the number 8 in my Figureight plate. So, you actually have to refer to a very long text guide that I've got right here. So let's just go to customs. Let's just go down to plate text. So if I wanted to get, say, the Fukushima style kanji, or we'll actually go for the Kyoto. We start off with LM. Okay, that's not Kyoto. Right, let's just give this another try. Let's just do it all in one go instead of doing it all in parts. So this LM will be Kyoto. Then we want the number, which is going to represent whether it's a truck, passenger, car, anything like that. So I'm just going to go with the number 3. Then we want to choose our hiragana, so we can have between a few here that we've got like, let's go for ni, which will actually be a D. And then we have 4 numbers of our choice, which can even include dashes. So I'm going to go for, because I like these plates with just the 1, I'm going to go for that. And there we go. Now that's definitely not the Kyoto kanji there. And no, I see why. It's basically because of the way that this is made. If I wanted to have the real places, I have to change something in the PSD files. But okay, for now, let's go for one of the made up ones. Let's go for Yamazaki. So we'll go for IJ 3D, and then we'll just go for --11 this time. There we go. Now we actually have a Yamazaki style one. That's actually some characters that I can read. So there we have a fully customizable Japanese plate inside of this, which is awesome. I love that that's a thing. We need this in more car mods. And then apart from that, we do just have the options of the oil coolers now. So we can actually go back and pick our one. So I guess I'll go for a side one. That's pretty Bosazoku. We'll go for the right mounted style one. Then we'll have everything on the right on this one. And then for the liveries, I'm not sure which one of these is going to match with all of these arches. Actually, they do fit on quite nicely. Even the stock ones work. That's pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to go for this one because it's got the zigzags and stuff. That's pretty cool. We'll have that in white, although I might change my mind because I do have the primary and secondary color to worry about. We've also got wheels to worry about. These wheels are very nice as they are, though. But let's see if I can find something better. In fact, I'll just go for them. There we go. That's that done. We've got to do some engine, brakes, transmission, suspension, although, oh, it does change, just very slight. It's okay, we've got V-stance, it's fine. There's no extras, so we don't need to worry about that. And then let's just try and find some paint colors. Okay, so I've actually just tested out the colors that I had in mind, and I think they look great. I mean, the livery definitely doesn't fit it, so that's one thing that we've got to change. But I think that color scheme does work. but we'll have to go to deliveries, and I don't think any of these are going to fit, so I think we won't bother with any of them. Although the Estancia one is a very similar color, at least. I don't know. Sort of. I don't know. I'm going to go for no, but you guys can let me know in the comment section below if you actually think that looks better, but I'm just going to go with the stock one, as it sort of takes up too much off of the front bit, which I didn't like. And also, I can change the interior colors as well, so I can make my seats cream, because I want to have that all matching. Or I could even have that with, let's go for a brown, shall we? Yeah, brown. That'll do her. It's actually made me think of maybe going for brown as the secondary color as well. I don't know. It's kind of odd, isn't it? Yeah. I'll go back for the garnet red, I think it was. No, sunset red. There we go. Sunset red's the winner. For the wheels, I'm thinking like gold or something. That can work. And then we'll just get a V-stancer and make this thing look a little bit lower, because this definitely doesn't look very Bossazocchi right now. So first of all, what I want to do is make the wheels smaller, because they are too big for this build. So I'm going to make them like that. That's pretty fair, I think. We'll just make them all match and go down to ground. We'll also get some wheel width in there. Make them nice and wide. Perfect. And then we just need to slam her down to the ground. Ah, that's better. That's more like it. I might even have to make the wheels just even smaller still, I think. There we go. We'll go a couple smaller. Get that visual lowering down. Get that rear track width in just a little, but we'll camber it. In fact, I could even camber that to the angle of the arch, perhaps. Ooh. Definitely might have to actually raise that just a little bit on the rear. Oh my Christ. We can actually get more camber. There's more to go yet. There we go. And in fact, with this camber, we need to get this raised a little bit higher still. But there we go. I mean, we've not had camber this ridiculous in a while on this channel. And then, of course, we want the front to match. So we'll go for some of that. But we actually need some more camber. I want to get that really close in angle. Yeah, I think that's going to work. And then we just need to go and let's go for the front height up. Like that's going to work, I think that's it. It actually could go with being out a little bit more on the front, but then we just have to... It's very close. I mean, as soon as we start moving, it's going to be way too low. I'm actually going to lock that in just one. Like that. Oh my Christ. This thing is utterly ridiculous. Just look at this. Absolutely crazy. In fact, I want to see some... there we go. Look at that. Flames coming out of the star. It's a shame that we couldn't actually change the color of the exhaust, actually, because I'd have liked to have gone for like a, I don't know, like a blue and a yellow or something like that. Or something. I just wanted to make it yellow. Whatever color I had for the car, I wanted my exhaust to be yellow. But there we go. Absolutely perfect. Proper Bossazocchi style stance. Whatever the hell, this thing actually is glitching on the rear bumper right there. But there we go. Now, I said I was going to do multiple builds, didn't I? So I'm actually going to leave the rest as little time lapses, because we've already spent way too much time looking at all of these parts. I've been getting a bit too excited with all the detail. There is no handbrake on this. That handbrake is terrible. So let me just do a couple more builds. Okay, and here we are done with the first build. Actually, it's a very weird one. I tried to go for something that was understated, but was like a reinvention, or like my own interpretation of a reinvention of the Savestra, like in its standard form. Like, I could imagine that this would be like all factory options, so you've got like all like the plastic, well actually this could be like a stock one, plastic bumpers, plastic splitter, plastic arches, all this plastic gubbings, plastic louvers. Sadly, there was no plastic spoiler option. But we've also gone for the roof rack and everything else. I've gone for I've gone for this livery, which is very 70s looking. And so I've decided to go for like a matching 70s colour on the body. And I think this does actually work as a stock sort of look. I've also gone for these sort of steel wheel style things. I made them a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner. I tucked them in just a little bit so there was a bit more of like a standard fitment, nothing too crazy. And I mean, the tyres are still quite chunky, let's be honest. But apart from that, I think that actually works as like a stock build. It's very different to our first build, that's for sure. That build is pretty wild, but this is just a nice, different style one. I'm going to try one more and see how I get on. Let's go. Okay, and here we are done with the final build. Now, this one I wanted to go for like a full racing style thing. I've gone for a theme. I've gone for red and white, so I've gone for white wheels to go with the white livery. Made it all race style. On this one, I've also gone for a side exit exhaust. I've gone for these like race wheels with like just the center bits, like without the bolts and stuff. I've gone for this little wee spoiler, a bolt-on style one to also go with the bolt-on wide arch kit that I've got going on with this one. I've gone for the racing splitter. I went for like the bumperless look with the little tow hook thing and bumperless on the rear. And I think it looks awesome. I think it does look absolutely amazing. I haven't really changed anything on the interior because there's not really much to change. Sadly, there isn't an option for racing seats, actually, is one thing I've realized with this one. But it doesn't matter. There we have our third and final build. Actually, oh, okay, it does look odd when I put the lights on. Let's turn those off. And there we have our 3 builds. So I would like for you guys to let me know in the comment section below which one is your favorite. Was it this absolutely crazy sort of, I don't know why I went for this color scheme, but there's something about it that's just very weird and wonderful and yet totally like something that would exist in real life. Do you like this one, as you can see there, or maybe prefer this sort of like standard looking one here that I've done, like a showroom version? Or do you like this full on modern racing style one? Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. I'm actually just going to go ahead, and I didn't modify this one in terms of engine. So, oh, that's definitely not. Why did I go for exhaust to change engine tuning? There we go. Brakes, transmission, suspension I didn't change, but I'm not changing the suspension at any point now because that's fine. Add a turbo, and we'll give us a HP multiplier of 10 and a torque multiplier of 10. And a max speed, I'll just stick a few zeros in there. And we should have now a pretty fast woof race car for us to end this video. Whoop! Okay, it's actually pretty intense. And also I've just realized that when I changed my wheels to go down, for some reason they were floating on this bit over here. Oh, the car's despawned already. It was floating. In fact, look, it looks perfect there, but as soon as I go onto the road, it does sink in a bit. Yeah, that's just the game's fault. I tried to line up with one bit of road and then exalt on the next, but there we go. Absolutely storming this thing, sinking into the ground because it's going way too fast. And there we go. That is it for this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know by rating, commenting, and subscribing. If you've got all the way to the end of this video, I want you to say donkey punch in the comment section below. There we go, guys. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.